Today I'd like to talk a little bit about reproduction chess sets. There is a huge market now for reproductions of early chess sets, and for good reason, because collectors like to collect chess sets. That's the nature of the beast, and sometimes a chess set is only known from a painting or an illustration of some sort. And how are we to discover what the set looked like in real life? So we have people doing good research into, for example, the courier chess game, which was an odd version of chess using many more pieces than normal on a much larger board, 12 by 12 I believe, and they were only known from one painting and one sketch, and an American seller of reproduction chess sets has done the research and produced some very credible looking pieces and has them made for him, and he sells them on the internet, which is excellent. What I have here in this fairly handsome box, and these boxes are had for a very reasonable price to house the sets in, is a reproduction of an 18th century chess set. There's no way of knowing just exactly who made this set or what it was called or any of those things, but it has kind of a bit like a St. George sort of feel to it. It's fairly chunky, the pawns are quite large, and fairly substantial looking pawns there, and these rooks are just like towers, and the normal sort of that wouldn't be amiss in a St. George set. And the knights, of course, are these reasonably well carved horses. I have to say, fairly handsome looking fellows there. Just the odd thing on these is the kings and the queens, and this is rosewood and stained boxwood, this set, and made, as I said, made in India by a young chap called Vic, who's a very good businessman and produces and sells chess sets on the internet. And the thing I've noticed with several of these 18th century sets is really how similar the kings and queens are. They really didn't seem to make much difference between them for quite a while, and certainly on some sets, particularly these turn sets. And I wonder if that's perhaps because it's supposed that the chess was started as a four-handed game, and everybody just had a sort of what we would regard as a quarter of a set. So the board setup was either like this, or there's another configuration. But basically, when you've got four sets, you've got the three pieces of the army and then the soldiers, and everybody just has either a king or a queen, which obviously would have been the same piece. So that's one possible setup for shatranj. Another possible setup is something like this, where the pieces were somehow in the corners. Is another possible setup, but it was a four-handed game, and so they say, and played with dice, so a gambling game, and was frowned upon for that reason, and then eventually it morphed into the modern game. But these sets are not expensive, and there's a multitude of different styles that you can buy. You can buy almost anything, a Solenis style in a modern version in bone or wood. These have been reproduced in ivory, a little bit frowned upon that now, but certainly I suppose you can get a bone version of this if you wanted. But they come fairly nicely felted, and they're weighted, perfectly good. Not really very useful for playing serious chess, but of course if it's the house set and everyone's used to it, then there's no reason why you shouldn't use a set like this to play chess with. You wouldn't want to take it down to your local congress and try and play there. I don't think they'd allow it. They wouldn't allow it, but these are certainly beautifully made pieces and in interesting woods. I'm not sure exactly what the woods are, but they're obviously an Indian species, and they really do display beautifully. The board is not included in the sale. I've decided to put this one on sale on eBay because I have two, and it's just a pretty nice looking thing. box is included. The box is of course modern as well, and I think that's about it for that. If you like it, buy it.